People are starving in Gaza. We have clear evidence of this sad fact. We have seen in the past week shocking photographic proof of the emaciated in Gaza. I speak, of course, of those chilling videos of the Israeli hostage, Eviatar David, shared by Hamas this week. Videos which show his skeletal frame and the psychological torture of being asked to dig a hole which he believes to be his own grave. David is 24 and was kidnapped from the Nova Music Festival on the 7th of October 2023. He has been held in captivity for almost 2 years. He was not captured as a combatant in war. He was dancing at a music festival. That was his crime. An extremely emaciated and almost unrecognisable David tells the camera that he has not eaten for a few days in a row. At one point, he is handed a can of beans and told to make it last for 2 days. He is one of 50 hostages still held by Hamas. A Hamas which is proud to brag publicly on video that they are prepared to use starvation as a tool of warfare, inflicting pain on David and psychological pain on his family. And of course, David is not the only starving hostage. Consider the shrivelled frames of those who have been returned so far. This video, sent to the young man's family by Hamas, is proof that this terrorist organisation is prepared to use starvation as an act of intimidation, as a strategy to achieve their goals. And if they are willing to boast about this act of inhumanity towards one of their hostages, why do we think that they would hesitate to use it more broadly against the people of Gaza? And there is significant evidence that this is exactly what has been happening. Yet, according to much of the media and certain activist groups, Israel is solely responsible for all the starvation in Gaza. I do not doubt for one moment that there is significant food insecurity in Gaza and that David is not the only starving person there. I am sure that there are children and families regularly struggling to find food. The real question is, why is anyone starving in Gaza? The United Nations runs a monitoring and tracking dashboard, recording humanitarian aid movements into Gaza, which have a UN manifest. They show aid regularly arriving in Gaza, an average of 3,000 calories per person per day, but just as regularly, this aid being intercepted. In the 3 months since 19th of May 2025 to date, 2,309 trucks carrying food into Gaza have been interrupted, either peacefully by hungry people or forcefully armed actors during their transit into Gaza. These forcefully armed actors are usually Hamas-backed. They take the food before it can get to the starving and either stockpile it or sell it at inflated prices, prices that poor, war-ravaged Gazans cannot afford. The UN's own agencies are reporting that 85% of trucks going into Gaza between May 19 and July 29 this year were stolen, looted, or intercepted by gangs. We will never feed the starving unless we honestly look at the causes of their hunger. We will never achieve peace by demonising one side of a conflict and not looking at the total picture. International human rights lawyer and CEO of the International Legal Forum, Arsen Ostrovsky, writes of his recent trip to the Kerem Shalom border crossing, the main humanitarian aid gateway from Israel into Gaza. He reported at least 600 trucks laden with flour, water, baby formula and other food and perishables abandoned in the desert. The food is there, waiting, with no one to distribute it. Mr. Ostrovsky notes that the United Nations continues to deliver aid throughout much more dangerous war zones and asks, why are they so absent in Gaza? One answer is the guns of Hamas, turned against food convoys they do not control. We all want peace and an end to the suffering of the innocent. Peace in Gaza requires bilateral action from both Israel and Hamas. Peace will only come when Hamas is required to step up as well as Israel, when Hamas is called out for stealing the food and stopping it being given to the starving. We need to do this for Gaza, for Palestine, and for Australia too. We will not have peace in our streets and on our bridges until you're
member's
honest
time
about
has
the role of
expired.
Hamas.